On today's show, we are joined by the crew from Quality Content, aka Big Dumb Franchises, and we're going to discuss all the geek happenings of 2017 and what we really enjoyed about this last year. And then we're going to scry into our crystal ball and discuss what we're excited for in 2018. So join us, will you, on the next edition of Free Your Geek.
By the power of Grayskull, Autobots, roll out.
Torpid time! Go.
You have failed this city.
Winter is coming.
Star-Lord. Finish him. Hadouken! Fatality.
And welcome to the Free Your Geek podcast. I am your host, Jay Free. With me,
I'm going to have to introduce myself. My name is Don. That's D to the O-N. I've just been wanting to introduce myself.
so I always introduce my two co-hosts. Don is here, as you can see. KB, still under the weather. KB, feel better. But our guests today are the gentlemen from Quality Content, a.k.a. Big Dumb Franchises. We have Jake and Ian. Gentlemen, welcome back. This is your second time on the show.
This is indeed our second. I don't know if it's
If you want to feel professional, you can put that on.
the hype. We are back.
Yeah.
Once
so,
again.
Yeah. So this is your first time in the new studio.
Yeah, it's very
So
nice.
yeah, welcome.
Check out the threads.
Yeah. It's really quite
avant-garde in
yeah,
some ways.
yes.
I like the
And
brick, actually. This is like really, really nice.
This is
I
genuine
really do
brick
like that.
from Lithuania, actually.
Is it brick? No, it maybe bricks. I
I
don't
don't know. Since that's not metal, I don't know what to believe anymore.
But I like the aesthetic going there. It's like a nice.
It's a nice feel.
You get that concrete jungle going.
We got to do like a studio tour sometime. Even though it's just probably just spinning.
yeah. Well, I'll show you the left wall. I'll show you the right wall. I'll show you the door.
There you go.
And we're done.
I meant for the viewers.
Oh,
we gotta see what happens.
That'd be great.
That's not PG-13.
So why don't you let them know what we do here?
Yeah, so for those that are just joining us on Facebook Live, or for those that is your first time listening, the podcast version on your different podcast devices, we talk about all things geek here, whatever you geek out about. So whether it's comic books, superheroes, working out, automobiles, movies. We've had film directors on here. We've had anime characters and cosplayers.
Kings.
Yeah, and just like people that like hardcore gaming and stream their games via Twitch and all kinds of other things. We've had
We've
different
had
types of geeks.
comedians. We've had back flipping acrobats, but
Yeah.
that was on a non-televised.
that was
event.
on
You
an
had
audio.
To be here to
Wait, that
know
was on
about that
audio?
one. It was
Why
an
would
audio
you have the guy
only.
who does backflips do audio?
That would be, he'd be backtracking.
back flipping?
So for all the new viewers, we want to thank you for viewing us if this is your first time. So that's kind of what we do. A little disclaimer off the riff here. We try to keep it PG-13, so we try not to swear too harshly or use any foul language. We cannot say the same for those fans of ours on the Facebook chat. But again, we encourage discussion via the Facebook chat, the comments and whatnot. So please feel free to leave comments, share this with your friends. Again, we just try to harbor like a very safe haven here. My thing is you can disagree with us, just don't be a jerk about it. That's our big thing. And this is our first show of 2018, episode 60. And episode 60 today is brought to you by our sponsors. We have Local Blast Marketing, Ritual Sweat Society, and Pachico's Furniture, the OG sponsor. So thank you again for sponsoring our show. And Don, why don't we kind of preview what is going to be happening on this show today?
Well, the concept of today's show is what the year 2017 has left us excited for in 2018. Whew.
It's a tall order.
It was said in a very, very mellow tone, but folks, when I tell you we were just flipping out about what 2018 holds for the geek world,
That's
we were,
very true.
off camera we were just crazy.
And obviously, we have to bring that down for
This is
everybody.
very,
We
very
can't-
much
we
brought
can't-
down from where it
we
just
can't
was.
scream into the microphone at the top of our lungs. We
You
gotta
can,
get
but
it.
you might scare some people. I mean, but again, if we forewarn people, that'd be great.
But I mean, specifically a lot of the things that like popped into my head. I mean, we had so many new Netflix shows, or we had so many
yeah.
returning Netflix shows. We got major blockbusters from Marvel and DC. More Marvel.
Wait,
But I
what
know
about
you-
the major
I know-
DC blockbusters?
All
We
two of
got
Yeah.
all one of them.
We also got those.
all one of them.
Yeah, I mean, comparison to like the DC blockbusters, we did have. I heard SpongeBob did a phenomenal episode on Nickelodeon, broke records.
SpongeBob
But I
did a
mean,
good job this
But I mean,
year.
DC and SpongeBob are kind of on the same level in my book. But it's all right. I mean, Bikini Bottom and
Bikini Bottom, Gotham, they
Gotham.
rhyme almost.
Well,
you know?
I believe it. I mean, when you got characters like Penguin, like I feel like Penguin and Patrick would be oh my god, what a
The
wrestling
duo,
tag
the
team.
dynamic duo. Replace Bane with Patrick from SpongeBob, and we're getting a blockbuster here. We got to have the crossover.
gotta bust every block.
SpongeBob and Justice League.
I just realized this too. Like we are like no holds barred here now at Free Your Geek. We don't have any limitations. So, you guys wrestling fans?
I used to be when I was younger.
Well,
and I
let me
haven't-
tell you something, brother. It doesn't matter. No.
It doesn't matter
I'm
what you
sorry.
think.
That was
I just-
part Rock,
that
part
was-
part
yeah,
Hogan.
You melded the
And then
two.
Part
like,
Savage.
I felt some Macho Man, Randy Savage
Yeah.
vibes in
He-
there.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you eat Slim Jims. Let me tell you
Snap
something.
Oh my
into
God.
No,
one
but,
singular Slim Jim.
Honestly, I mean, for a little bit, when we had the wrestling podcast here, I tried to always like hold back, but I mean, really, we can.
We're 60 episodes deep right now. I mean, if you want to geek out about wrestling, we can
No,
geek
I
out.
mean, my back. It's episode 60, man. My back hurts. I can't do it.
I wish I had more sound
realized that
effects.
was, like-
I wish I had more sound effects.
That was like more like Scotty meets broken back wrestler.
Broken back.
Oh, so we already got some comments coming in on Facebook Live. Johnny Leathers, friend of the show. I am not going to say that. He's already using that joke. He used that joke. But Johnny Leathers still calls it WWF, which is fine. It's the Pandas, World Wildlife Fund.
Federation.
Oh, that's right.
The World
That's right.
Wildlife Federation, my favorite wrestling.
Sean Batruka, We Are Real Americans. Hulk Hogan. Shout out to Hulk Hogan. And then John Viveris is on there. What's up, Johnny? Another fan of the show, longtime fan. All right, so let's get into this a little bit. Well, let's talk about 2017 and what is that leaving us? What is it whet our appetite? What are we expecting now for 2018? What are we amped up for, if you will?
I'll grab the ball first.
Go for it.
I'm excited for the first time in my young life for horror movies again, because we had so many bad ones for years and years and years, just like Friend Request and all these jump scare crap. And
What was the other one that was just like Friend
Oh,
Request?
it was
Hashtag horror.
Yeah, no, it was
No,
a
there's a
hashtag
third one
horror.
that's just like Friend Request. No, it was
Happy Death Day.
no,
was it
that's
that
a
one?
fourth. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, no,
There's another one. It
but-
was just like Friend Request. It was
It was the Unfriended.
Unfriended.
Oh my god!
The trailers are the same.
So
I swear to God.
we're still getting the really dumb, bad, like jump scare, haha, teen garbage. But we're also getting like the really nice thrillers, like Get Out came out this year, and Get Out was fantastic. Split, M. Night Shyamalan did a
Split was
fantastic
good.
job with a movie for the first time in
Well, The
long
Visit
time.
Wasn't that bad?
The Visit,
wasn't
oh,
that was
the
better.
twist was weird. I don't like the twist.
Yeah, but his
Call
whole
me
twist
old
are
fashioned, but I like The Village.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Tricking
fair.
a blind
liked it when I
girl
was a
into
kid.
thinking, you know.
And it came out this year, which was just phenomenal. It reinvigorized like, ooh, that's actually creepy. So I'm waiting for 2018 to show me wrong about the worst genre of film, at least in my opinion.
Whoa.
Well, and that's so okay. So a quick disclaimer here: the folks here at Quality Content here are big moviegoers. They
Of course.
a vast array of movies, from dramas to action to superhero flicks to even if you want to say horror to an extent. And that's we talked a little bit about that. I was on their show last week, and well, you guys plug that at the end so they can go back and see Jay Free on there. But yes, the big movie fans, and we did talk about that. It to me, I really liked it. It was more of a
Comedy.
see. So Don disagrees a little bit.
It was
which
a
is
little bit of too funny.
It was funny in the sense that like Ronald McDonald would have put more fear in my heart feeding me Big Macs for 12 hours.
Some bits were definitely more comedy because, like, you remember that scene where she finds all the floating kids and then she looks to her left and Pennywise is just going like this with his legs kicking out on this thing and it's like and it's zooming in on him. It's
That
like
was actually
it's been
also
like
scary.
gifted and it's online everywhere and it's just ridiculous. Like that, I don't know why it's in the movie, but it's definitely like a horror / comedy. I'd say
Yeah.
mostly horror, but like comedic elements throughout, and I think it bizarrely works.
Well,
I
the
would-
thing that does that is it gets you light and then immediately like shocks you again, which is really nice. That's the thing.
Ready? This is. I feel like you guys may appreciate this. I feel like they took the original It, and they said, Stranger Things made some money. Let's take the original It and have it mate with Stranger Things, and let's see what we can come up out of this.
That's actually
And-
really true.
And that's what we got for our baby. And I was excited. You can ask anybody. You guys say you hate horror. Well, if you say you don't,
I'm not a
like
big
like,
horror guy.
Horror's number one for me. I've watched every crappy horror movie just so I can see if I can get anything out of it. You know what I mean? Like horror's my number one.
Did you see
So-
the Bye Bye Man this year?
Did I see Bye Bye
Yeah.
Man?
Did you see the Bye Bye Man?
You know, hey, on top,
You know,
I'm going to tell you
hey.
this. Hold on. This may have been last year, but there was this movie I talked so much smack about, the STD It Follow movies.
Oh.
That movie was actually
It
pretty,
Follows?
Like,
I heard It
creepy.
Follows
was
was actually good.
wonderful.
It Follows was really, really good. I
I heard
enjoyed
It
that.
Follows was
I
good.
enjoyed that.
So I mean, and then look at like I don't know how you feel about what's coming out, the Insidious movies. Wait, what's the one with the old lady?
The one with the
The
old lady.
preview is like the girl's like on this floor screaming like ah, and then the key gets put in her throat and she can't scream anymore.
Oh, that's the latest one's
Of-
trailer.
Is that what it is? Like,
Yeah, because the
Insidious
first
last
one
game?
had Darth Maul in the trailer. The second one, I
Yes.
don't remember the trailer, but the third one, the new one, is the key fingers.
The first one
Yes,
had Darth
That's how
Maul.
I separate them.
I like that. I like that.
The key finger thing's actually really funny.
I do like
I
that.
liked it because I
Well,
saw.
it's funny 'cause the
I saw
trailer-
it in a GIF afterwards too.
Yeah, I actually saw it in theater first, so we usually see them in where we're watching like Marvel movies. They play a bunch of trailers in front.
Yeah.
So we watched it in the theaters. I didn't know it was Insidious 3. I didn't know it was a part of a franchise, but I watched it and like almost until the title card, I was like, wow, this is an interesting original film. And then I saw it was Insidious, and I thought to myself, wow, you know what? I might go
That
watch the
actually
first
looks-
two now
yeah.
because I haven't seen any of them.
oh my goodness.
How good are they?
For our generation of what we're getting for horror, they're good.
Okay, that's good.
Did you guys like the what's the horror movie with Ethan Hunt in it? Never mind. We'll talk about it another time. Let's stay with.
Well, I want
We'll talk about it another time.
We're having some conversation in the comments right now.
Okay.
Brendan actually agrees with you, John. He said it was awful.
Yes.
But Peter also asked, and I wanted to kind of get you guys being more movie buffs. Even though the horror genre isn't your favorite, how do you feel about the found footage type films? Do you think that it needs to, for lack of a better term, and not to sound ironic, but
There's
needs to die a slow death?
There's like
so-
3 good ones.
And one of them's Chronicle, right?
I think Chronicle might be the best one. And that's
Chronicle's
not even-
definitely the best one.
No, I guess because Blair Witch isn't even bad.
It's
For what it is, for
nap
Blair
time.
Witch at the time, and then I'll even say, what was the one the camera
Is it
in the
Paranormal
bedroom
Activity?
movie?
It's
Paranormal Activity. Yeah,
That's
the first
just
one. The first one was
so-
great.
I'm not a fan.
No?
I'm not a fan of found footage movies because
I'm
it's
not
like
gonna lie. I've literally watched every single one. Like
That's wonderful. I'm glad we have differing opinions.
Yeah.
no, it's cool because slasher films don't scare me. I can run away from a killer. Like I'm pretty fast. Like,
That's
so
fair.
that's type of situation.
Well, yeah, it doesn't play off your fear personally.
Yeah. So you can't like if I get possessed, that's it. Or if one of you guys get possessed and I'm locked in here and you guys are like puking plasma all over the place, like chances are I'm either gonna get sick or
I'm gonna
possessed as
get
well.
scared. And
You
that's
know,
it.
like and like Jay Freed does know some ancient voodoo or as he calls it voodoo that you do,
Uh-oh.
you know, and he can take that bad juju away from you.
Now, do you know how he do the voodoo that he do?
I don't know how he do that doo-doo that he do, but I
that's
know
what
it smells like poo-poo.
Oh,
All
wonderful.
the
This is
rhymes
getting
in the
dragged
world.
through the
Okay.
trenches quick.
So-
I don't know. Yeah, because we were supposed to have some
Moving
kind of
on.
structure.
Yes, I know. Okay, moving
Wait,
on.
this
we
is
just
the
we just
structure.
threw the game plan right out the window.
This is the structure.
All right,
We're still talking about horror movies.
Yes,
almost.
we are. Horror movies. In 2018, we're going to have...
Even
that
New
one.
Mutants is coming out, and
I'm so
that's
pumped for New
very
Mutants.
exciting because after what Fox has been doing with their little avant-garde, like not superhero movies, for lack of a better term, it's really exciting. That's gonna be like great.
So the New Mutants is kind of like an X-Men themed movie, but set more in an asylum.
It's
It's gonna be so
And
cool.
it's gonna. I'm interested. I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Just because it's the New Mutants and Wolfsbane's going to be in it, and it's like horror movie in a like basically in
X-Men
a
setting.
X-Men setting in a nut house with a werewolf. It's gonna be
It's
fantastic.
gonna be nuts.
Yeah, I'm pumped about that.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Yeah, any other movies that you guys either really enjoyed in 2017 and made you kind of want to see more stuff, and or kind of makes you a little bit more enthused going into 2018, 2019, some of the franchises they're doing? Because the name of your show is Big Dumb Franchises.
It's true.
So
Our favorite thing in the world are
Big,
things that cost $200
dumb
million
franchise.
to make,
And then
half the
end
time
up
are
making
good.
$3.
Yeah, half the time they're good, half the time.
Well,
make
we
fun
did
of
have our small conversation about Justice League being existing.
Well,
before the
I don't
show.
know, because we're supposed to talk. We're talking about like things that we get excited for next year. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
yeah, let's say that. Did Justice League leave any of us really like super excited to see where they're going with this?
all right, you grabbed the ball last. time.
I'll
did.
grab the ball
no,
again.
I want to grab the ball this time. You didn't grab the ball yet. Hey, I didn't
Whoa.
grab the ball. You already grabbed the
Go
ball.
for it. Grab the ball.
All right, I'm grabbing the ball.
Hike.
All right, you can have the ball. I'm kidding. Justice League, for me personally, that movie premiered on my birthday. It came out the Friday the day after, but it premieres Thursday night like most blockbusters do, and it was on my birthday. It was a present for me, my favorite team. I grew up with the X-Men movies. I grew up with the Spider-Man movies. That was my stuff growing up. I almost swore. That was my stuff growing up, my movies in the early 2000s when I was a small child. But my favorite team was that Justice League animated series, and then Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
That's my favorite superhero team. So for me, I waited like over a decade for this movie, and it comes out, and it's better than X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's
Oh my God, anything could be though.
yeah, most films are. It's better than
That's a low bar.
It's better than The Wolverine with Hugh Jackman.
That's also a low bar.
It's better than X-Men: The Last Stand.
Wow.
It's not as good as Apocalypse and then the rest of the X-Men movies up top.
Yeah.
It's just an exceedingly average movie with some really great bits bottled between muddled between some really bizarre, disjointed bits that don't belong in the movie. Although, depending who you ask, they can say, like, the other parts don't belong in the movie because it depends what tone people care about because it's, like, split right down. But in any case, I won't get into that. Point is, this movie for me, I knew Warner Brothers doesn't know what they're doing because every movie is a different movie than the last movie, and they keep reacting to the negative reception of the last movie
And try to tweak it.
and try to tweak it, but
Yep.
force it on the directors making that movie so that they have no choice but to make that movie that way. They didn't agree to make it, and this is probably the worst case. The second worst case. Suicide Squad was worse. It's probably the second worst case of DC, but I think it's actually arguably worse because these are bigger characters than Killer Croc and Katana. So these are your
Not
big,
Katana.
heavy-hitting.
Those are, you're right. But think of who they pushed in Suicide Squad. That's for like a new generation of like poppy culture,
Yeah,
comic
that's very
jumping
true.
into
But
it
didn't work
this
at all.
World.
No,
well,
it could've-
well, I have to be the opposite end of
Okay,
that.
that's fair.
It did work. Will Smith and Margot Robbie were phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Well,
those
if
two
you put-
characters carried the whole movie. Like the movie, I sat through it and enjoyed it because of them. I didn't have to pay attention to the putty patrol bad guys or the fact that the villain was a good guy, now a bad guy, and a guy loves her, and now her brother's here out of nowhere. Like, no, like I focused on what I needed, and I left the bones on the plate.
See, if you the thing about that for me, being a big movie guy in general, is I can't just focus on the two characters that I like because everything around them is like a tornado of garbage.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they're in the eye of the storm. Sure, nothing's going right bad with them, but then if you look a little bit to the left or right, it's just gone.
I don't know, because for me, I'm of two minds about this. Like, yes, I'm a huge fan, and I love these properties. It's what gets my geek on. This is what
Yeah.
my geek
Yeah.
thing is. It's these heroes, the Flash hat. But for me, when I watch Suicide Squad, I can't not be a film critic. I can't just turn my mind off and go, yay, big, dumb fun. You know, I have to because I'm watching a movie. It's a movie first and then superhero movie second. So when I watch this movie, if you look how it's edited and how it's paced, and it's worse than
Oh,
Justice League.
it's definitely
But
thrown together. You
it-
could definitely tell there was a
I-
few things going on.
But beyond thrown together, it feels like this was supposed to be the exact same length, roughly, and tone as Batman vs Superman. And it's a film that should have been 2.5 to 3 hours and really dark and mysterious and dramatic.
More character
And-
development.
Yeah.
More character development, more character development
dull.
at all. Yeah,
Period. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
And-
this is your team. Yeah. I
This
got
is
it.
your team.
Slipknot
This is
doesn't get a
Slipknot.
title
He
card.
can-
You can peg him as dead immediately.
climb anything.
Exactly. And then you trim that down to 2 hours, and the trailer for Guardians hits really well. So you say, well, we want a lighter tone and make it like Guardians, so hire this trailer company to edit the film. And it's just becomes this bizarre amalgamation of
That's true.
random things.
What do we
And
got going
the
on?
thing with Justice League for me about that is they didn't wow me. I wanted this movie to be great. I wanted this movie to make money. I wanted to enjoy myself.
Didn't
and
cross $1 billion.
I enjoyed myself during a lot of the movie.
Let's just-
Granted, I'm a big dumb idiot and like movies.
I like movies.
Movies are fun.
At the end of the day, I can admit, oh wow, this movie has a lot of flaws, but
Yeah.
that makes me excited to see the next one because it's more of a director.
We'll never not see the
decision.
next one. It's
yeah.
our job.
Well, Aquaman's coming out, and that's more. I feel like they're gonna let the director do his thing because it worked well with Wonder Woman. They're gonna be like, okay, James Wan,
James Wan, yeah.
James Wan, you're a talented guy. Make a good movie.
He's actually really talented.
He's
He
super
did-
talented.
He's done. He's done horror. What movies has James Wan done? He's done The Conjuring one or
could've swore
two.
that-
I think he's done one or just one or one and two. I'm not sure. He's just done some Conjurings. He's done a couple Fast and Furious ones, the good ones, not the old
Tokyo
ones.
Drift.
Not Tokyo Drift. But
It's
he's,
not
he's done
canon.
some of the recent ones. He
like
knows
that
how to
movie.
work in a franchise and make those movies specifically well while also serving the
Yeah.
franchise. So I'm really excited for
Yeah.
Aquaman on that.
I'm
regard.
actually excited because they brought this bad character, like this big bad guy who's really cool, and then didn't explain anything about him, didn't show enough of him, and I'm just like, I want more.
The scene
And
with
now
him
we get
when
more.
he's in that air bubble underwater felt like every line of dialogue was just, can't wait for Aquaman 2018, guys. Come on, guys. Come out to see our movie in a year. Come on. It didn't serve the story
Yeah.
of the movie. It was just a trailer for the next movie.
I feel like just not to spend too much time on
We already
Justice League. I know, but just to throw this out there, one of the best scene to me is when they were showing the humans with special abilities, that were blessed by the gods, and then the Green Lantern Corps.
That's my favorite scene
That's
in the
the
movie.
freaking best scene.
That's
you
my
get to
favorite scene in the
So
movie.
damn
That's
good.
a great scene. The best scene in the movie for me personally is when they're fighting Superman and Flash is running behind him. That's his one power. He can go fast. He can stop
Fast
everybody.
boy.
And then you just see Henry Cavill's head turn. And
Yeah,
look.
that's a really
And
that's
he's just going,
awesome. He's like, oh no.
Oh, it's so good.
He's like, no, please God.
I love
help
his
me."
running too. It looked like he was just wiggling his arms up. And
That
down.
would be
It was
awesome.
I just want to reach out as we're taking a quick time to catch our breath here. A couple of Facebook comments. Fan of the show, longtime fan of the show, Paul Tavares says, "What's up?" The Lumberjack also saying, "What's up?"
Lumberjack.
Just real quick, going back to the New Mutants, Johnny Leather said his friend worked on that. It's really good. It was shot in the same building as Shutter Island was.
Oh, really?
So
Nice.
yeah, I've been Johnny.
Every so often with Johnny, you'll get some real stuff, and then it's like spew. I'm afraid to say.
Which-
I'm getting
Speaking of Johnny Leathers, Marvel's running out of superhero ideas. The next one's going to be Adam Sandler starring in Operaman 2019.
They're not running out of superheroes. They're
running out
taking
of-
superheroes they don't have the rights to and making them into
Well,
blockbusters.
but let's
Or they do
let's
have
talk
rights.
about that. Something that happened in 2017. Disney's getting Fox right now.
that I
getting
have
some-
a lot of mixed feelings about. I'm going to take the ball a second time. If
Go
it's all
for
the same
it.
to you
Oh,
because I have a
taken
lot
by
of.
the others.
I
That's
know.
okay.
No ball for you. You'll
That's
get
fine.
it immediately after. It's fine.
I'm taking my
But-
ball and going home.
It's a sad moment here.
I don't have any sound effects to play some sad music.
That's okay. No sad Incredible Hulk walking away music.
That would be
The
amazing.
piano.
That would be
love that.
amazing.
See?
Okay, so yeah, the Disney Fox deal. Now, to quote Nick Fury from the Avengers in one of the opening lines, "Until such time as the world ends, we will act as though it intends to spin on." Fox is moving ahead full steam with their X-Men properties, just like they were before the deal was happening, during the deal, and after the deal is going through the 18 months. They're going ahead with Gambit. They lost a director, but that's scheduling conflicts. I don't think it's because of creative differences or anything. They're going full steam ahead with their franchise, doing 2-3 movies a year, just like Marvel does, because they know they can. And for me, Fox, I'm more interested in what Fox does than MCU. Now, MCU is
yeah.
my favorite film franchise of all time. It's one of, if not one of, it's definitely, it's the way they structured everything is just, you cannot deny how wonderful that is and how intricate that is and blah, 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 blah. So the reason that I'm more excited to see a Fox film than a Marvel film is that I get the same tone and flavor from Marvel films. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying it's the same things, similar things at least, to what I've already seen for the past decade. Fox next year, just next year alone, or sorry, this year now. I'm still getting used to that. We have New Mutants, Deadpool 2, and X-Men Dark Phoenix. One's their big dumb franchise, just namesake of our show. One's their sequel to their parody, prequel, sequel sort of reboot of Deadpool. And then one's a straight up horror flick. Not superhero movie that has horror elements, a horror flick.
Yeah.
And for me, I'd rather see 3 movies in completely different genres in the same world, oddly enough, than see 3 movies that are just similar movies over and over again.
Well, I think with this year, we're not going to be getting the same thing from Marvel because one of them.
I'm exaggerating, yeah.
Well, yeah, but last year we basically got the same thing for every movie from Marvel, so it's not really a Most of them were funnier type movies.
We
Most
did
of them were
two of our three. Oh no, actually,
three
it
of
was
our
a two
three.
and two.
All three of them were funny.
This
Yeah.
year we went two Fox movies. We had Spider-Man. Oh no, Spider-Man.
No,
movie.
it's
Spider-Man was
Spider-Man, Guardians, and Thor. All three of them were just funny.
Yeah, they were actually.
And
they
this year
pushed
we
the
have Black
comedy.
Panther, which is not going to be funny. This
No.
movie's not going to
Oh,
be a
it's gonna
funny
be
movie.
Uh,
There will be jokes, but it's not going to be a funny movie.
No.
We have Infinity War, which should be more serious because, and then
Something's
we
gonna
have
happen.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, which granted, I don't expect anything not funny from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No.
But having one of those movies be funny would be fine. And then having hopefully a serious Black Panther movie because he's a pretty serious character. And having a serious Infinity War movie with, obviously elements of
That's-
comedy in there would be good. That's refreshing because last year we only got funny movies and I was kind of a little disappointed towards the end.
Now, I can already actually read one of these comments where he's commenting on the tone of how Disney would handle a Deadpool movie. Bob Iger has said that they'd stay R-rated. I'm not sure I believe that. But what I do know is that Deadpool 2 is shot. Post-production is done or nearly done, and it's coming out in a month? 2 months? No, actually it's in May.
June.
So several months. It's coming
Right.
out in a few
No,
months.
They just
They bumped
announced
it to
they
May
bumped
18th.
it to May 18th.
Yeah.
So June 1st to May, so it'll be closer to the Avengers,
Nice.
which will be interesting.
That's actually really funny.
Let's
Yeah,
fight.
that makes sense.
Let's
so
fight.
yeah, so in essence, that film is done. So unless they Suicide Squad it and change everything completely and make it terrible, then I don't think it's gonna drag. Deadpool 3, however, if Bob Iger means what he says in that he's just gonna let the creators do what they want outside of the MCU, or I don't know, then yeah, maybe there is a chance that it stays R-rated. But my fear, which is why I have mixed feelings about the Fox films, is that instead of having three X-Men movie universe films and then 3 MCU films, they're just going to conglomerate them and have 3 MCU films that incorporate the X-Men, maybe. Which makes me
4.
very sad.
Maybe
the
4.
only upside from that is Hulk versus Wolverine. Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yeah, but then they'd have to recast Wolverine and
Yeah. And then
Wait a few years. I mean,
But-
Logan.
To
you
that
know.
point, so we know that everything is coming to a head with this current phase of Marvel.
Yeah.
We know that the contracts of Chris Evans,
Robert Downey Jr.
thank you, yeah,
You're welcome.
They're all running out.
Yeah.
We know that they're going to be coming out with a Captain Marvel movie, Black
Yeah.
Panther, all this other stuff. They got Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange.
Yep.
So maybe the next phase or moving forward, maybe they do reboot Fantastic Four. And I know my man Don here is a
wait.
big fan of Mr. Fantastic. Mr.
am.
Fantastic is his favorite member of the Fantastic Four, which is
Well,
Very
yeah.
surprising.
it's like
No, I agree with that. I
Really?
think him or Human Torch. It's
Human
like
Torch
a
is
little bit of a toss-up.
I actually,
super cool.
honestly, I do prefer Mr. Fantastic just because I like the idea of
the stretchy man.
stretchy man, but mostly like
brain.
I like it how he incorporates it. Like there's scenes in certain comics and television where he people are Sue Storm and her brother Johnny are talking oh yeah, well Reed, we're going to get along great, but I don't really like when he did this, and his head just pokes in from the other room did you say something about me?
I like when he
what?
turns into a giant pair of scissors.
Oh, in the Lego game,
It's
yeah.
like, and I'm just like,
What is this man
That's
doing?
nonsense, but I really enjoy the
great.
funny
It's
stuff he does,
hysterical.
so that's always fun.
But I'm just thinking maybe we see a whole reboot. That's the next phase, and then we can integrate. As we kind of talked about on your show, who takes over the helm of Captain America, who takes over Iron Man? Do we have people step into those roles, into those
Yeah,
characters?
those leadership roles, that leader of the team role.
And then we have them integrate with the X-Men. We do have Wolverine versus the Hulk, or anything along those lines.
Marvel likes to do their trilogies. If a character of theirs has a movie, they're getting a trilogy unless
Oh,
no
then
one
they're
likes
getting a
it.
spin-off off of that trilogy.
Yes, exactly.
Yep,
Into another
exactly.
trilogy.
Exactly.
Into another spin-off.
So,
Yeah.
for me personally, unless it's because if your character is like Vision, where he doesn't have his own movie, he's going to be a supporting character in the other movies, and he could die because supporting characters can. But if he's a franchise, if he hasn't filled all 3 movies in his trilogy yet, or the Avengers trilogies or whatever, then he's not going to die. He's immune. He's physically immune. No one died in Ultron except the guy who was in it for 10 minutes. So
That's a very good point.
yeah.
Very, very good point.
Yeah, that's very
I like
true.
that. I like
But that's
that.
why I'm excited for Infinity War. I'm pumped.
I think
I'm
that's
super
the big
pumped, yeah.
talking point, no pun intended. Super pumped for
Definitely.
Infinity War.
That's not even. That's
Not
it's
even a question. No, yeah,
Not even a
definitely.
question.
I think that's the thing we're all kind of really hyped
Yeah,
up about.
that's-
But there's
I think that's the high point of the year.
It is the high point of the year, but there are some other stuff for me personally.
there's-
That's just like
yeah. See, that's unfortunately that's what we did. We looked to the top of the mountain. We just jumped right at it.
But that's
You know what I
okay. We hit that peak. Now we're gonna ease
Cascade,
down.
yeah,
We're
definitely.
gonna.
I mean,
Yeah.
Let's take a leisurely stroll down the mountain now. Let's talk
Actually,
about some other things.
what do
do
you
agree we
guys?
should.
You guys can grab the ball. You guys
Here's
can
the
grab
ball.
the ball.
We've had the ball the
anytime.
whole time.
Don, let's talk about
Which-
what
who
else
wants the
were
ball
you-
first?
2017. Come on, let's
want the
talk
ball?
about what else you were.
2017.
He's got the ball.
I geek out about TV shows. The way you guys are about movies, I'm a TV show person.
That's fair.
So
If I had time, I would be too.
completely out of the realm of geekdom. Ozark was one of the best TV shows like this year. Like I got like so caught up in the world of money laundering and backstabbing, murderous.
That's cool, though. That's-
mayhem. It was really really cool.
One of the things I'll jump in with as far as TV goes. I don't know if you guys are fans. I know you guys used to watch the CW shows. I know you don't. But the crossover this year was epic.
Wasn't it the musical one, or was
No.
that?
No,
he's
this
talking
was
about
a
the big one.
four-part where they had an
Oh,
Earth
okay.
X, where the Nazis won World War II.
Wait,
And
that
all
sounds
the-
awesome.
It
Yeah,
does.
Nazi versions of the heroes, the Black Archer, Overgirl instead of Supergirl, and then they had Reverse Flash.
The reverse
Basically,
flash had
this-
lightning forming SS on his
Oh,
symbol
that's
instead of a lightning
really
bolt.
funny.
That's
It was
great.
It was a great 4-part. I'm not going to spoil it for you in case you guys
you
do
watch
catch
that?
up.
I actually, I haven't seen it
Can
yet.
you
I'll
watch
watch
that?
it.
There's
Definitely.
been-
I won't even watch the rest of the show.
Are you guys fans of the other CW shows like Legends of Tomorrow?
I like Flash, and I've seen some of Arrow before it got not good.
Okay, well, the previous season of Arrow, season 5, was amazing. Like it was a really a makeup for season 3 and 4, in my opinion. But Legends of Tomorrow is totally like
Yeah, I've heard it's actually really good.
it's great, and it's just so like silly. They have like themed episodes. One was ET themed, and it was just like they go back to the 80s, and there's this alien running around, and
That's
it's-
actually really funny.
It's really fun. But there was a couple of deaths in the crossover that affect the shows moving forward. I won't spoil them for you, but to me, like the CW every year now with these 4 shows with this crossover, super pumped. This one I think outdid itself even better than
Yeah,
last year.
the concept makes me interested. The concept of the last one, I was like, and that's really interesting because that's something you think about. That's like a lot of shows and creative contents and stuff always delve into the what if something happened in World War II? What if something happened here? What if this person never existed? What if
Man
this
in the High
person?
Castle.
I have
What
not
was
seen
that?
it. It's
Okay,
an
if you
adaptation
don't-
of the
yeah.
Dick Clark, Philip J. Clark, something.
You
something
just
Clark.
nailed it the second time. It's Philip.
Philip J. Clark. Okay, I have names in my head. They're all together.
That's good. You guys will both appreciate that. If you like, what if this happened situations. But season 2 came out in 2017. I only watched a few episodes of season 2. Season 1's phenomenal. It'll get you hooked. Season 2 starts off super slow. So yeah,
That's fair.
Damn, you guys were talking CW. I don't really do
Yeah.
CW.
Well, I just want to real quick before we go over that. Ann Cassetta says the crossover was excellent, and then John Viveris, fan of the show. Not that I want to leave the realm of superheroes, but quickly going back to Marvel for a second, said he's a big comic guy. Marvel Comics as a whole are getting very MCU-ish.
I
With
bet.
the recent Marvel Legacy events and the Marvel Team-Up book reintroduction of The Thing and Johnny Storm after a decent hiatus, it's inevitable, in his opinion, that they get a Fantastic Four movie that now Disney holds all the cards.
Well, yeah, of course, it is inevitable.
Disney holds all the cards regardless after the Fox deal. Not just because of the superhero X-Men, because we focus on X-Men beating the MCU. That's what we're concerned about the most. But imagine what they're going to do with all that content on their streaming service when that comes out. Like, that's insane.
That's true.
They hold every card.
They also own some DreamWorks movies on their streaming things.
Yeah, they hold the rights to the last 5
Yeah.
years of DreamWorks movies, which is funny because DreamWorks is under Universal. So what they could do, it's been proposed, is negotiate for Universal to give them their DreamWorks film rights in return for the Hulk solo film rights, which, whew, if that happens,
we could
my
get
God.
Planet Hulk. We could get a real Planet Hulk.
yeah, like an
not
actual-
like a.
Leading up to
20
where
minutes
he
of
was
sort
with,
of really,
in
yeah.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Or even after Infinity War, if he gets launched off the planet by Thanos or
Yeah, because
something.
Marvel doesn't really do prequels, not yet. I think Captain Marvel is going to be in the 80s, but I'm not sure that if that's going to stay in
No,
the 80s. or
really,
not.
you're right. They really try to stick to
Like
try
whatever's
to
happening
stick
now
to
is happening when the movie
Because
comes
they're
out.
trying to tell
Yeah.
that story all
Yeah.
the way through.
Yeah.
That's
But,
smart. though.
Don, what else? I mean, I know there's something else. You looked like
man.
you had something else you wanted to say.
I did. I was trying to pull us all in together on something.
You said you don't really follow the CW shows. Let's
I
backtrack
don't-
here a little bit.
CW shows, but there was something.
We were talking about Nazis, if that helps.
Oh my God. We do not
That's how to
support.
jump.
We do not
If that
support
helps.
Nazis here on the
Not-
show.
not
If that helps
It's just
at
a
all.
rumor.
I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps at all.
You know what else doesn't help?
Sadly.
German accent.
Mindhunters, man, completely not a geeky show, but Mindhunters was amazing on Netflix, man. It was a show where the FBI, it's where they were profiling serial killers before we had the term serial killers. So, in this time period, they had just, had arrested Charles Manson, and all of his stuff is being unraveled, and a young FBI teacher at the time, tries to figure out why these people do these things, because usually there's only two reasons you murder somebody: you want their money, or you want their lover, or they've taken your money, or they've hurt you in love.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, they started to figure out there are other people who just kill for no reason at all. Like Summer Sam, his dog told him to do it. The show was amazing. You guys talk about you guys love cinematography, and you guys love
Yep.
how movies are put together. This show is that show.
I love
That
shows
sounds
like
awesome.
So please watch that. I've been told I've been told specifically to not make it just all about superheroes and everything, to try to tell about, because I
Well, yeah.
geek out about TV shows like this, and I go
Mm-hmm.
my spastic Don at Jay Free knows.
Now, one of my moments is
And that-
about a game.
No,
so
then
by
I
all
love-
means,
yeah.
go
There's
on.
games too.
Yeah,
We
well,
can definitely
that's
talk
true.
about
And that's
games.
real quick, and this will be a great segue. First and foremost, what's that? I can't think of the name of the show that you told me to watch.
Oh my God.
Mindhunters.
No, well, Mindhunters, but there was a show that you brought up,
And we both
That-
Future Man.
Future Man.
Awesome references. That's an awesome 2017 show.
So I want to get into that a little bit, and then I'll segue into another thing I'm excited about for 2018. But Future Man's basically this guy's living in with his parents. He's like this never do well type of guy. He's just kind of like a bum, and
a
he really
schmuck.
doesn't feel like he has a purpose. And he's the only one to beat this game.
the unbeatable first-person
game.
shooter.
He ends up winning. And come to find out that in the future, this is used as a training simulation. The two characters from the game come into the past.
That sounds like Ender's Game of the film.
Sounds like Last Starfighter, the film.
It sounds like
References.
Ender's Game.
Okay, so
Go
can I
ahead,
tell him?
go
Can I
ahead,
tell him?
go for it.
So he said it sounds like Last Starfighter. The kid is in he's pleasuring himself to the female character, and then he opens
the
his
game?
eyes.
Yeah.
No. He opens his eyes, and then she's standing there.
When they teleport, yeah.
They teleport, and then they explain all this to him, and he's like, "This sounds just like the Last Starfighter. Stop it! Did my friends put you up to this?" And
That's
he
funny.
always calls them out.
There's tons of
this is just like
references
Back
in
to
this
the
show.
Future.
Yeah, they constantly reference pop culture in this. About
So he's like Cisco in The Flash.
exactly,
Kinda, yeah.
exactly. But it's a really good show. Don got me into it. I started watching. I got 4 episodes in. I absolutely love it. But this is one of the things I'm excited for. Speaking of video games, one of my favorite video games of the past that's been rebooted. I talked about it on your show,
Yep.
Tomb Raider.
Oh.
And the Tomb Raider movie is coming out.
That looks good.
And it looks so sick. It looks like it's right from the video game to the big screen.
The reboot of her origin story.
Right.
Yep.
Is that
with
one.
a
It
more
looks wicked
realistic
good.
Lara Croft.
Yeah.
And I'm just it's Alicia Vikander who's playing Lara Croft, and I'm so excited because I love that game. I love the reboot of that game. I love that whole treasure hunter aspect.
Yeah, kind of like
And-
Indiana.
Yeah, exactly, kind of like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I'm so pumped to see this movie basically leap from the video game to the big screen. I'm super pumped for that. So that's one of the things I'm excited.
You
for.
mean to tell me that Angelina Jolie bungee jumping on SWAT guards is not realistic?
Good to go.
You can't even talk. It's
God.
nothing
No,
to
no,
say.
I'm
No
flummoxed,
words.
man. I'm flummoxed.
See you guys later.
Oh man.
See,
So-
video game movies for me are always.
We have
We've
more.
talked about this. Video game movies are so dicey, man. Every time.
I gotta throw just one of the best video game movies out there.
Mortal
right
Kombat.
Now. No.
What? The first one's
And
so
you
good.
told that M. Bison that I'm gonna come here to the island and get his
Isn't
beauty
that
little
Street
ass.
Fighter?
Yes.
So
we
bad.
talked about
No.
this on the show.
Street
The
Fighter's
only-
poopy.
The only
It was pooping.
the only great video game movie, in your opinion,
It's Mortal Kombat because it's not good, but it's so entertaining. You're just like, this is so dumb.
As
I love
far
every
as, like-
second of it.
As
I
far
think
as
Annihilation's the best.
actually good,
Oh,
not
no.
like funny bad, because I agree the funny baddiest one is Mortal Kombat,
Annihilation.
hands down. But as far as the best made one is a movie out of every single video game movie. It's
Warcraft is pretty
it's
well
an
made.
okay movie. It's like a 5 or a 6 out
Right?
of 10. It's Warcraft, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would hesitate to call it a good movie because it's not.
I gotta go against you guys on that.
Yeah,
It was well made. It just wasn't interesting. It was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It looked really.
After it ended, I
was
took
very
nothing away from
visually
it.
appealing.
No. Okay, so
No.
okay. Again, I'm sorry. You guys are looking at it from movie fans' from fans.
You're looking
of
at it from a
film.
Warcraft fan?
No. I'm looking at video game movies from a video game player's point of view.
Okay.
So
I mean, I played
when I
World of
watched
Warcraft.
the Silent Hill movie, well done movie. I played the video game all the way through. I know what I'm expecting when I see a Silent Hill movie, and I got that.
That's fair.
Resident Evil movies. They started skewing and then trying to pull back and then skewing and trying to pull back. But still, I got some pretty awesome zombie movies out of it. And they stuck it. They incorporated characters I wanted to see. They did what they were supposed to do.
That's
Both
fair.
Mortal Kombat movies were good. How stupid, realistically, when you play Mortal Kombat, dude, there were friendships and babalities. And, dude, Mortal Kombat is stupid. They nailed it.
Why is Johnny Cage
Even
fighting?
the second one. Johnny Cage is awesome.
That's my only problem with
Johnny
Mortal
Cage
Kombat,
is
the premise.
Phenomenal.
He's an actor. Why is he fighting in Mortal
No,
Kombat?
he is not.
Men can
He's
turn
like
into lizards.
Jet Li, bro. He's like Jet Li. You don't think Jet Li would like whip all of us? He's an
No,
actor too.
not a lizard man. Not a man with
lizard-
swords for arms.
How do you know
not
that?
Scorpius.
On his planet, his like
Goro
weakness
has
could
4
be
arms.
He's a talented stuntman.
a talented stuntman. But exactly, he knows how to take a fall. So on Goro's planet, what if his one weakness is if a guy falls into me, I die automatically?
Look, I'm sure he's really good at fighting regular people.
oh my
but
god, dude, can you do a split and punch a guy in his groin?
No.
You cannot.
However,
Point- that's
however,
it, Johnny
can you
Cage
avoid
can
getting
do it.
eaten by a lizard man? Frozen in a block of ice by
Reptile
Sub-Zero?
literally spits
Moving
poison.
on.
Like, come on.
Moving on.
That's the only problem I have with the concept. Everything else, as funny
Well,
as it is.
speaking of video games, there's another movie coming out, and as a video game, I don't know if you guys play any
Rampage.
MMOs. Well, Rampage, we talked
The
about
big
that.
monkey.
Is that the lizard too? I
The
saw
lizard, the monkey, and
Yeah,
the
they're all-
werewolf.
they're all-
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if I play a lot of video games, but I play a lot of single player games.
Same.
Yeah.
And one of the phrases I'm accustomed to hearing is "Ready Player One."
Oh, I'm so,
So-
excited. That's
That was a good
That
grunt.
is the movie that I'm probably like the second most excited for. Like
I can't
honestly.
even believe that wasn't even going to bring that up. That is going to be the best movie, actually. That's going to take the Marvel stuff over for me because before I'm like a comic.
you've
book
read the book, right?
geek and all that. No, I have not.
Have you read the book, Jeffrey?
I have not.
Okay, I'm the only
I'm,
one who's read the
I'm
book.
illiterate. I can't read.
Neat.
He
so
reads
good.
backwards, just so everybody knows. Ian is not his real name. His name is
Nye.
Nye.
Yeah.
And
His
he
name
reads
is
backwards.
Ethan Prestonakowicz.
So he knew
Miller-Deller.
the ending before he knew the
Yeah,
beginning.
he reads from the back of the book forward.
That book is actually just one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Flat out. I'm so excited.
So like that's what I haven't read in quite some time. It's embarrassing, but still,
That's
like I
fine.
used to be, especially
I own
like,
it.
When,
I don't
when
read.
hey, no, but I did. I could put together so much like make fun of me Harry Potter stuff before the movies even came
Yeah,
out.
no, me
I
too.
could completely visualize what I was gonna see. As corny as it sounds, Da Vinci Code, I could picture the whole movie and then seeing it, I was like, wow, well done, guys.
Wow, they
Like,
did it.
it's,
Yeah.
as corny as it was, but still, like, and I lost where we were.
Ready Player One,
Ready
the
Player
book.
One. So it must be awesome for you to have all of this like idea of what you're gonna see, but then have all the visual stuff that the book
Doesn't
maybe didn't
have.
fit
Yeah.
in.
Because Warner Brothers is shoving their properties into it. But at the same time, it's going to be dope. If they follow the story of the book, I am more than excited for this movie. I
Well,
talked
first
out
of all,
the
it
mic.
says Spielberg on it. If
Yeah,
like, if
well,
not one of the
oh my
best, then
God.
definitely one of the most like acclaimed.
Yeah, I'd say he's one of the like top 3 directors of
Ever?
all time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like flat out. So we have
So-
an incredibly talented band, a great concept. That's one of the films I'm the most excited for.
Would you like a fun
just
fact?
in general?
Actually, I told you this fun fact. Would you guys like a fun fact?
I like fun facts.
So this movie was supposed to come out in December, but it pushed to early this year because of Star Wars. It wanted to avoid competition, which means if it stayed in December, Spielberg would have directed The Post and Ready Player One, 2 films in the same month that are both. Well,
I heard
one's-
The Post was also
one's going to be
fantastic.
critically acclaimed, I would assume, and one is one of the best movies of the year. So I mean,
Yeah, I heard The Post was actually fantastic.
who directs 2 movies in the same month? It's incredible.
Steven Spielberg.
By the name of Spielberg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there he is. There's one
If
guy.
anybody can do it,
Is
there
that
he
man.
is.
So now I mean I've only seen like the quick trailers of Ready Player One, but we don't really talk about like I joke around like, oh, we love anime. I do love anime. Now I wonder if like this story that like are they gonna get locked in this world? Because if so, it's very like
Sword Art Online. No, they don't get locked in the world. Not at all. They don't get locked in the world because it's a virtual reality headset. And with virtual reality right now being
Yeah.
at its like peak,
At
this is
its-
a perfect time for this movie to come out.
It is, but then when you jump in like a VR headset,
I just
and
rewatched the hug. That's really sweet.
We get the playback. I had to give him a hug because he knew Sword Art Online, and I
Well,
know
yeah,
that
it's
Jay
pretty-
Free would
it's pretty well
definitely-
known.
Well, look, see, head shaking, and I say Dragon Ball Z, and he's like,
I'm gonna join Jay Free on this and just casually head
No,
shake.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not.
it's in every other person.
I'm
That's
not a
how
big.
he
I don't watch a
assigns
lot
seats
of
here.
anime. I don't really watch it at all. But I know I have a lot of friends who are engrossed
Well,
in the culture.
well, your friends are cool.
Yeah, no, they're pretty neat guys, but,
Yep, but-
they don't get locked in the world. It's a virtual reality thing, so it's like in and out throughout the book.
Yeah.
And the stuff out of the VR is arguably just as interesting as the stuff in the VR, which is good because it's like
Because the world's crap.
yeah.
So
but-
your only escape is kind of in
yeah,
the VR
exactly.
world.
It's kind of like in the Assassin's Creed games where you get the really cool stuff and then you get inside of the crappy corporation where you're really bored and want the good gameplay again.
Yeah.
In
So like when you're
Black
playing as Desmond in
Yeah.
the actual building.
No, the
and
Desmond Future stuff isn't that bad. The Black
if you're
Flag
playing in
Future
Black
stuff
Flag,
is terrible.
I'm a great pirate. I can sink ships. I'm friends with Blackbeard. I can do whatever I want.
and then I'm in an office building
with
and I'm
all
like,
these cubicles and you walk
do
in.
this.
pirate life
Do
back.
this staring at the wall test to make sure we can calibrate. Like I do
give
not
me my
a
pirate
damn.
life back, please.
Yo ho ho.
So I feel like in this movie, if Spielberg's gonna make it great. Spielberg knows what he's doing, but the VR stuff's gonna be awesome because in the book the VR stuff's awesome, and the story outside of the VR is actually also pretty thrilling. So it's like a nice mix, and I'm really excited.
John Levine, fan of the shows, ringing in on the chat and saying, "Hey, bros, Happy New Year! Happy New Year, to you,
too.
John. Welcome to the show." Johnny Leathers, by the way, mentioned for Ready Player One. He was at one time working on a DeLorean from Back to the Future, so he loves the DeLorean. It's his favorite cars in the movie, so he's pumped for that. He mentioned that. What else are we excited for 2018? Anything else that you guys want to
There's
mention?
one thing, but I don't want to take the ball again. So hold
I'll
on.
take the
There's
ball.
guys.
I'm
Okay.
excited.
Well, we'll see. We'll put a
because,
pin.
I'm going to tie in two things together. I am going to throw it out that I'm excited to see if Walking Dead's going to keep me as a fan. That's what I'm excited to see. I'm not going to say I'm excited for Walking Dead's return.
I'm excited to see if they can keep me interested.
I am. Beth and I have already talked. I told her if they heal Carl in any way, that I'm
Spoiler
done.
alert.
Spoiler alert. He
Yeah,
got
that's
bit on the
definitely a spoiler
ribs.
alert.
He got a little piece,
I might-
like
my
a
pointer
little
was off.
Chinese
Yeah.
spare rib out of his rib, just right
Yep.
here. Just if you guys didn't know.
Did you
Spoiler alert.
see the AMC statement about him being released?
No, I don't.
They
I-
told him we want to keep you for a long time, and then he turned 18. They're like, "Hey, you're off the show."
Okay, then I did hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was like something like that.
completely unexpected. He had no idea. He's like, "Oh, good. They want to keep me for a long time." And they're like,
Aren't
"Bye."
his like parents suing them or something like that?
I don't know. I didn't.
There's some kind of like bad blood going on.
I don't know the inner workings behind the scenes, but I do agree with Don here. For me, as much as I love the characters, the comic still is like so amazing. It's a great read. The show, to me, it's kind of it's kind of leveled off, and it's like, I think what they need to do is they need to do something unexpected, and unfortunately, and it's a
Sucked that was Carl.
it sucked. It was Carl, and to me, the biggest thing would do would to be kill one of two characters, which they won't do because those are the two biggest stars on the show,
What, Rick or Negan?
Rick or Daryl.
Oh,
And I think that there's so much a demand for both those characters, and there's so much a fandom. It's almost like they wrote themselves into a corner, in my opinion.
that's fair.
Like,
Realistically, you were just awesome right there. You made my freaking brain fire off all over the place. Because at one point you could have killed Carol off, and it would have been like, now if you kill Carol off, who cares? If you kill almost anybody besides now, like Michonne, I'll even throw her in
Yep,
there. Now
Michonne
it's
can
like
be in
it's
there.
just Michonne, Rick, or Daryl. Anybody else can really die. Like there's
See,
nobody else holds that importance anymore.
Honestly,
That's fair.
I missed the last half season.
Oh, Jesus,
I've
why
seen
have you
everything
done this?
from the start of. No, I've
Can you look
already,
at the
I've already.
imaginary-
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
already,
we're
I've already
looking
been
at
it.
spoiled on the whole
Spoiler one.
Carl thing. I get that, But no, the first everything from the premiere episode of the season with Negan in it, which is probably my favorite episode of the show, all the way up to where he gets shot, but the bat blocks it, and he goes to Eugene to find the bullet farm or whatever. So that's the end of what I know. So everything after that, I'm back and forth because it started so strong and it continued okay. So I don't know if they're just.
but
gonna
my
continue being
argument
strong.
is this at this point then. You could theoretically, if that's the last thing you saw, you could start with a new episode coming up.
You're
and
not
you
missing
wouldn't be-
anything?
you
Is it
wouldn't-
like the
Wait,
governor
that's
stuff
nap
where it's just like
time.
2-3 episodes about nothing that doesn't
there's this
matter
other
to
group of
anything?
characters that you may or may not know about?
Yep.
That's
Great.
about it.
Oh, Ezekiel is the best guy. I don't know where he is
Ezekiel,
now,
yep.
but he's fantastic.
Yep.
I love
I think
Ezekiel.
Eugene's the best
Ezekiel's,
character.
and they again another spoiler alert. Don, point above your head, please. So the first couple of shows of images of Morgan on Fear the Walking Dead has come out
I did not know that.
of the crossover. So yeah, Lenny James is going to basically be moving over from The Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead.
It's very unfortunate because as I'm like sitting here listening to us all talk about The Walking Dead, I feel like that Walking Dead sparkle inside just starts to fizzle out.
Is Morgan Stickman?
Yes.
I love Stickman.
Yeah.
That Stickman episode. Oh, that might be my favorite episode. There's two great episodes. There's the Stickman episode and there's the Negan Premiere episode. Stickman, to me, that episode with the whole character arc about killing / not killing is just awesome. His conflict with Carol was just amazing. I don't know where he is now. I know where he is circa where I'm watching it, but I don't know where he is now currently.
Right.
Yep.
I hope they just keep using Stickman and don't kill Stickman.
As it kind of refers to The Walking Dead, John Viveris on the chat says Scott Gimple is garbage, who basically is kind of like the showrunner there. So, but the comic right now is, like I said, if you want to see or read some good stories for The Walking Dead, pick up this current run of the comics. It's amazing.
That's fair.
It's weird to say that just one person involved with writing when there's like 20 or 30 showrunners and writers and producers and stuff involved. It's weird to say that just that one person's to blame. What you can do is when there's a series of movies or shows that all collectively suck in certain
You can say
similar
it's the
ways,
studio's
and the same
fault.
guy is
Yeah.
involved in all of them, you just say,
Then
oh,
you
Scott Buck is a bad guy.
Oh, isn't that the Iron Fist guy?
And then move to Inhumans guy, yes. So you can say, oh, that guy in particular is a bad guy.
Okay, I knew you were
So-
going for it. Too.
But
You
no, if
said-
it's just one production and it sucks and there's 30 people involved, you can't say, oh, this guy's not good.
That's fair.
Based on what else he's done.
Yeah.
Or she. I'm not discriminate when it comes to bad writers. So.
That's very true.
Equal opportunity, bad
Yeah,
writers.
exactly.
Opportunity. You can be. It's
not a compliment,
no
but-
matter who you are.
I want to talk about, since we're kind of on the realm of comic books and it's kind of a little bit my forte, awesome book that started out in 2017 and is now going to 2018 is DC's The White Knight. Basically, all it is the Joker gets on a medication that reverts him to his Jack Napier persona, and basically he's the good guy in the story, and Batman is the villain.
What?
And it's a really cool. It's like an
That sounds
Elseworld
awesome.
story where it's not part of the main continuity, but
Yeah.
I love the writing. It's a little bit more adult.
I love that Elseworld
And
stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
It's really, really good. I think it's an 8-issue arc, and I think issue 4 just came out, so we're halfway through it. It's a great read, so that would be a book recommendation on my end.
Oh, it's so cool.
Anything else? What else? We talked about the Avengers. We talked about, what's not coming back in 2018? Game of Thrones. We have to wait till 2019.
Now, I actually, because I'm sure you guys all
It gives
watch,
me a
right?
whole year to watch the show at all.
Yeah, he hasn't seen
Okay,
it. But,
so-
he's read the books a long time ago. But
Yeah, I read some of them.
For me personally, now, I don't know what you feel about Season 7, but I loved it. I am unabashedly a fan of Season 7. Yeah, I don't know if it's my favorite season, but it's up there.
So there was a lot of criticism
Yes.
for season 7 about the storyline felt rushed and how can these
Yeah,
characters
tone.
move so. And I get it, but if they're working to an end game, like for me, I'm willing to let some of that stuff slide
Mm-hmm.
because if the story's there and you're trying to tell me this is the way the storyline's playing out, and we have to kind of in our minds say, okay, well, yeah, this happened. They showed up in this land and then another land like 10 minutes later, but it probably took them 3 or 4 weeks. I can kind of, in my mind, play. It's kind of like the Lord of the Rings movie. That whole movie, that whole journey didn't take 9 hours. I mean, it felt like forever, and it
11
should have.
extended.
And it should have, but it was over a span of months that these
Yeah.
characters were traveling here. So
Definitely.
I take
We
that
have to give
same
a
type
benefit
of
of the doubt kind of deal.
right.
And on top of that, I think the criticism is more. Yeah, you're right about the rushed pace there, and I think criticism is focused on that. But the seasons themselves are like high quality entertainment for the most part. So for me personally, when you're watching something like that, and it takes a divergence off of slow to fast, that doesn't make or break the movie for me. Like, there's great slow stuff if you watch a lot of Kubrick's movies, and there's great fast if you watch, like, Edgar Wright, a more recent director. If you watch, it doesn't matter as long as what you're watching is good. As long as what you're looking at,
I
you
agree.
judge it on its own merits, and it's a good thing, and if you find it fun. And I found season 7 fantastic. So
Best episode. Best scene of the whole. It should be, to me, it's easy.
Nope.
Easy.
I have a different one than you.
You know what mine is.
I have several great scenes.
All right. Well, which one do you think sticks out? With what's the one that popped in your head first?
First,
Yeah.
the one before the season finale, the
Oh yeah,
ice.
button, yeah.
Oh yeah, spoilers. The ice, the one where Jon Snow and friends and little Suicide Squad are trapped in that little ice thing,
Jon
and then
Snow
the
and
dragons come.
friends.
That scene as a whole, I didn't love. I liked it a lot, but there's moments in there where I'm just like, that's incredible. That belongs in a Hollywood blockbuster. That is beautiful. You know what I mean? They're doing blockbusters better than Hollywood is doing blockbusters, if I'm being honest.
It's what it's going to turn into.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
And that, like, I understand, like, oh, it's delayed until 2019, but they're making, like, basically 6 or 7 movies.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
thank
Weapons
you.
grade entertainment.
He understands.
If any show is going to take that long to do a thing, it's Thrones with their
Right.
Yeah, that's
millions of
fair.
dollars
Last
budget.
season, of course
Yeah.
they're going to.
Yeah, this is gonna.
I'd
they're
rather
going
not
all
rush
out.
it and have it be crap.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Oh man.
Go ahead. What's your favorite? Or do you want me to go?
You go first.
Okay. My favorite, and I liked it because of the serious nature of Game of Thrones. Obviously, there's a lot of death. There's a lot of drama. There's some levity in there, and it's humor is subjective to all. But one of my favorite scenes, because I laughed out loud so hard, was the introduction between Daenerys and Jon Snow.
I love that.
Where here the mother of dragons, the breaker of chains.
This is Jon
This is Jon Snow.
King in the North.
He's king of the north. Like there's like a 10-minute introduction for Daenerys, and then,
And then
just
he's
this
just like,
awkward
"I'm
introduction of
Jon
Jon
Snow."
Snow, and I just thought that was absolutely hilarious.
And-
This is the first one that popped in my head. Of
You know what
that
I love
season.
about that scene too? It's one of those things where like it's literally just 2 or 5 total people just talking in a room for maybe 20 minutes, and it never feels like dragging. You're
Right.
always keeping you invested in what they're saying.
It doesn't feel like a dragon.
Dad
Bad-
jokes
bad
are
joke.
us.
Doesn't feel like a Daenerys Targaryen.
In the same note, like that scene was great, and like that was the humorous end of it. But literally, like moments later in that episode, he's like, "No, listen, like, like he was made Lord Commander. He got stabbed in his heart for his people. He gave his life for his, you know what I mean? Like he started like saying all John's accomplishments, like on some real, and she's like, oh, but the best moment is when the Dothraki hit the Tullys and the Lannisters, and then she rolls through with the dragon.
Dude.
And then Jamie is just like, oh no, let me grab this lance right real quick. And he's just, da-doom, 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 da-doom. And then Ron just saves him. I
It's
mean,
weird because like 5 feet into that ocean is like shallow waters, and then 10 feet into the ocean is like the Mariana Trench.
yes.
Yeah, it's just a drop.
He's sunk. It's weird, but no, I love that bit. I love that whole sequence with the dragon, obviously. And then
then
when they start jumping on the horses and firing the arrows that
Yes!
way, dude, that's amazing. Watch the behind the scenes. There's like a video on Facebook,
Yeah,
like
oh
5
my,
minutes long.
I watch it as soon as like I get done watching it. I watch like the Beyond the Thrones. Yeah.
Yes,
So you have a lot of catching up to do, sir.
A little bit.
only 8 seasons.
But
But
my
you have a
wife
whole
is
year to
my
do it.
wife is in the show, so I can't
Yeah,
I can't not
Daenerys.
watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What else? What else we got?
What else we got? What else
Are we
we got?
talking about?
We're about
more-
an hour in.
I want to
so
talk
what
about.
else?
geez.
I want to talk about Predator.
Okay, let's talk about Predator.
I love Predator. I'm so excited. I haven't seen a Predator movie. When did Predators come out? Like 20?
1993.
No, like Predators with Adrian Brody, the last one that came out.
Oh, that
Like
2013.
2008,
12,
even. I
13,
think
8,
older. Yeah,
7,
2008,
53.
late 2000s.
2010.
Okay,
I was close.
We were
that's
close.
8 years
I
ago,
remember those.
and that's not enough Predator. Just I'm throwing that out there. We got multiple Alien movies with Prometheus technically
We
being
got
an Alien
3
movie.
Spider-Mans.
There are 50 Spider-Man movies.
Yep,
And
all different actors.
I'm so excited. I love Predator.
I
As a
think-
character, as a concept, he's terrifying. So it's like, yeah. We get a good
Honestly,
one.
though, like I would love a Predator reboot. Keep the look of the Predator. Give me back in the Viet Cong.
That's cool.
job.
I was 100% against you until you said keep the look of the Predator.
Yeah.
As soon
You
as they
think
start
you-
making
oh,
him
you-
look like weird
No,
and stuff,
no,
like,
no,
No,
it has
never
to-
change the
Predator,
look.
keep
but-
that look.
But dude, give me a Viet Cong movie. Like
Yeah.
I watched Kong Skull Island.
That was a good
Say-
movie.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you said that because I was getting ready to go toe to toe
Mm-hmm.
you guys.
No, that's a
Dude,
good movie.
No,
Dude,
one of the
I-
best moments of that movie, I think the best moment in that movie is when he's fighting the helicopters for like 10 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
when
Predator-
Just
when
yeah.
Paranoid plays
He's
and
using
the-
them as baseball bats and other helicopters. He's jumping and hit the helicopters. He steps near. He
Oh,
just stares at Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L.
It's a
Jackson's
really-
just like
That scene is art. Let me tell you.
I am the. What do you tell him? I am the artillery.
I'm actually going to take this moment to shamelessly plug Jackson and I's show. It doesn't have a name, but it's on our channel, Quality Content, and we just watch every single Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
There's
they've been
40
doing
of
that.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I
We
started-
just finished Mothra vs. Godzilla. It's pretty terrible.
No, Mothra vs. Godzilla's. I want to watch the Godzilla movies with you guys. I love them.
No, it's really
I
it's
love
the worst one.
Godzilla movies.
The best one so far is King Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, yeah.
That's fantastic. So anyway, sorry, I was
No. We were just talking on their show last week when I was on their show. Somebody at this table has a weird love of monkeys.
I like monkeys. Monkeys are good. There's no.
So
And there
we're
were
talking
two-
Planet of the Apes. We're talking, King Kong. We're talking.
Yep, there were 2 blockbusters with your monkeys.
Yeah, no, we had 2 really big movies of monkeys with War of the Planet of the Apes and also Kong Skull Island. And by the way, I don't
How
know.
was that? the newest Planet of the Apes. I
Oh
still
my
haven't
god!
seen it. It was really
Watch them all.
good. I've watched them
They're
all,
so
but I haven't
good.
seen the
You've
newest.
seen the
It's
original.
actually-
You've seen the
his favorite-
originals.
What?
You've seen the originals.
The originals with
Yeah,
Charlton
like
Heston?
yeah,
Yeah.
the good one, like the really
Like,
good
I've
ones
seen
too.
that, and then
The Tim Burton
oh my
reboot
God, no,
with
no, no.
Mark
Oh, no, no,
Wahlberg.
I've seen the Mark Wahlberg one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not a movie.
And then I've seen like the newer ones with like Caesar.
Oh, but you haven't seen the third one?
The one
Oh
with
yeah,
Woody
no, watch the
Harrelson.
watch the
Yeah.
third
Yeah, I
one.
haven't seen
Oh
that.
my, it's
It's
incredible.
his favorite. It's my, I think, second favorite. My
was
favorite's
so
still
good.
Dawn for me personally.
Dawn
I
is
looked
a
up.
really close. All three of them are like
The one with Franco.
Very close.
all three
Franco's
of them.
in
Yeah.
Dawn, right?
Oh my god, all three
That's
of
a
them are
really
so
good movie.
close. They're so good.
So yeah, I'm pretty
But
excited.
yeah, I do really like monkeys. And someone has a weird obsession. It's not a weird obsession. It's a good animal.
It's a passion.
It's a good animal.
It's the only
Monkeys
good
are
animal.
That's what
Yeah.
you geek out about, man, and that's all.
Monkeys, yeah.
That's all good.
Like I don't
It's
know, like
awesome.
if I had like a Ben 10 bracelet, like Monkey
Mon-
of Powers
boom.
would
If I was
definitely be
Beast
one.
Boy, I'd always transform into gorilla
Oh, dude,
or T-Rex
Humongousaurus.
because
Just- yeah.
hey, what can it not? Beast Boy really underutilizes being a Tyrannosaurus. I just want to throw that out
He
there.
used it like 5 times in the show.
He just
There's 5 seasons, so once per
underutilizes it.
season.
He does it in the first episode, in like the
There,
pilot
yeah, there's
first episode.
the once per season.
Yep, and I'm just like, I'm upset. Why isn't he more of a T-Rex?
If you had that power, why wouldn't you use it more?
Exactly. It's like
Because you need
Superman's
long
freeze
arms.
breath.
Well, he uses that to cool hot soup down for old ladies.
He
That's
used
noble.
it to freeze Steppenwolf's axe and then make a bad movie.
Yeah.
Make a disappointing movie. I actually really like it. I like the movie, even though I understand that it's not good. It's like
Yeah,
Batman
I'm the one
versus
who's like
Superman
really
No,
crushed
crushes.
by it personally.
I never gave you guys my opinion.
Oh yeah.
I very much like the movie.
Yeah.
I
Just
just
like the
think
film?
yes, I just think that Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman and he's being
Do
like a
you-
child who doesn't want to do something and
I
not
think-
acting.
Do you like him as Batman?
I did.
I think he's still the best
Do you want-
on-screen Batman we've gotten.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
here we go.
no.
Are you?
Let's start this.
100%.
Let's go.
100%. The Ben Affleck's
Throw up
the
the
best
fists.
on-screen Batman.
All right, first of all, we got to hear what he's
Okay,
saying.
if
first.
you say
Okay.
anything besides Michael Keaton,
Stop.
I won't give you the.
Okay.
I can't give you the credit. Michael Keaton's really good.
All right, excellent. Ready? Best Bruce Wayne was probably the worst Batman ever, George Clooney. George Clooney played Bruce Wayne very, very good. Best Batman was definitely the most miserable one, the Dark Knight series. Christian Bale, are you trying to tell me that?
I don't like the voice.
Dude, the why Ben Affleck is good is because I had watched an animated like series, the 2-part animated thing, and I was like, oh wow, Batman's playing, Ben Affleck's playing this version of Batman, so I'm like, oh, he nailed it. Besides that, like he's monotone and like miserable and like he doesn't even play Bruce Wayne good. He doesn't even
His
play
Bruce
a
Wayne's okay. I agree that his Bruce Wayne's not like perfect.
Yeah.
But I think his Batman, he's.
Oh my god, I even like guys. Realistically, I kind of liked Val Kilmer too, but the movie was crap.
I'll tell you what. You,
Crap.
by the way, you guys are both
Batman,
wrong.
Robin.
Best Batman is Kevin Conroy.
Yes,
Oh, well,
Drop the
absolutely.
mic.
No,
no,
it's
you're
not
right.
fair.
That's
not fair.
correct.
That's
Ma-
animated.
Mask
I'm
of the
saying the best
Phantasm.
on-screen,
If we're just
He
saying
did. He
films.
said on screen.
Mask of the Phantasm.
That's not.
It's a movie.
It was like
It's an
2
animated
weeks and it was
movie.
animated. If
no, I mean like
discounting Kevin
live action
Conroy,
Batman.
he's obviously the best Batman, but I'm honestly with him. Now, I will say that I do agree with a lot of what you're saying about Bale. The voice sinks it for him, does
The
not
voice.
for me. I love Bale's Batman. Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies. You know,
It's
I mean,
like, it was that good.
I like
man.
Batman Begins better than The Dark Knight, but I acknowledge
I like
that Dark
Batman
Knight's a better
Begins.
movie.
yeah,
I like
dude.
Batman
Oh yeah, Begins
Begins.
is fantastic.
Batman
yeah,
Begins is so
definitely.
good.
No,
That's my favorite Batman
That trilogy
villain.
is just wonderful.
Scarecrow?
I love Scarecrow.
For me personally, why I felt Ben Affleck is the best, and I know it's a controversial opinion, but when I see Michael Keaton or Christian Bale play, and they're fantastic. They're
Oh, yeah,
wonderful
well,
at their jobs. I'm not knocking them
absolutely.
at all. When I see them play the character, I see Bruce Wayne putting on an outfit to stop crime. I see the man stepping into the persona of Batman to do what he has to do as a billionaire who, without the means to stop him except with his fists. When I watch Ben Affleck, particularly in BVS, not in Justice League where he has like a joke every other minute and then Wonder Woman is the main character. I mean in Batman vs Superman, that film, and that film has its problems. But when you watch him, you see, for all intents and purposes, Bruce Wayne died when he was 8 years old in the alley.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
Batman. 100% on the screen the whole time. Bruce Wayne is the facade. He pretends to be a courageous playboy on screen. He is the Dark Knight.
Yep, exactly.
If John Levine is watching that, listen to this man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree with that.
Ben Affleck for
100%.
me in that movie, and that
What?
movie isn't that good, but
I meant more your characterization about Batman is that Batman is always Batman. Bruce Wayne is the disguise
Yeah,
that Batman.
I like
and that's
puts
something I
on,
feel like
not
the movies
other
have
way around.
missed. That and the costume looking actually like Batman's costume for once, instead of all black with a weird rubber cowl. It looks like Batman.
Yeah, I
have
really
to
do
say,
like
I
the
love it.
BVS outfit,
Yeah,
and
I do.
even Justice League, you look phenomenal. So they've really the costume design's been really
On
good.
point, yeah, definitely.
I didn't like Cyborg's look at first. And then when I watched the movie, he looked pretty good. When at the end, when he had smoothed out,
Yeah.
he had the C and everything. I was like,
That was really
this is
cool.
it.
I
This
know.
is what I want.
even appreciated like
Yeah.
the pre-look. I was hoping that they didn't jump right into like Super Cyborg or
Yeah,
he like
no.
knew his body. I
Yep.
love that.
I'm
like,
glad it
the
was younger.
self-defense
Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Jump started that fight.
Actually, I was
Yeah.
talking to Jay Free on this, and to go back to the Batman thing, I suggested that at one point we should have like all four of us just have a show dedicated to like a back and forth about
Batman versus
especially
Superman,
more
Dawn of
specifically
Justice.
Batman versus Superman because we are in the minority of liking it.
I like the movie.
We
think
don't
it's a
love
good
it.
movie.
It's got its problems, but it's not.
I was more on the dislike than
Yeah.
like
But
As
that's
most
fair.
people, yeah, I
That
understand
is
that
fa-
completely.
Have you seen the extended cut?
I have, and it made me like it a lot more.
I'm glad. 'Cause
Okay,
I also
yeah.
made
2 to
me
3
like it
or-
more.
Because it just to me, like again, spoiler alert, but like one of the first scenes. Oh hey, hi Jimmy Olsen. Bang. See you later, Jimmy
That's
Olsen.
terrible. That's terrible.
Like you didn't even explain that. Like I had to watch the credits to find out that was Jimmy Olsen.
What's even worse, besides that scene in the movie, is Zack Snyder's explanation. Like, oh, there's no room in our universe for Jimmy Olsen. We're so
You know,
sorry
the second
about
most
that.
important character besides Lois Lane as a supporting character.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Superman. There's no room in him for the universe for that.
No, not in this DCEU
Well,
where we put
okay.
out 2 movies a year. No way.
We're talking about Zack Snyder here. Does anybody really like this guy as a director? Be real. He made a few good movies. But none of them are original content. They're all adaptations. Watchmen, which I think is his best movie, and The 300, which is phenomenal.
But it's still based on a
it's
comic.
still adapted. Both of his best things are adapted. Him directing and writing something and having like a say.
Sucker
don't
Punch?
give this man a say ever.
Sucker Punch?
Just don't give this man a say. If you get him as a visual guy, his visuals are phenomenal. The opening to
And that's
Watchmen,
why, as
the
mentioned
opening
on,
to Justice
on the
League.
other show, like you can pick out the scenes that are Zack Snyder or Joss Whedon in Justice League. You just look
Yeah.
at the screen and see, wow, is this visually composed like art or is this visually composed like people with cameras pointing at them?
Yeah, and
like
I
that
will
you
give
say
Justice
that.
League 100% credit of the opening scene right after the Wind Like a River thing when it plays Everybody Knows and pans out throughout the whole world and all the turmoil. That's the best scene, the best cinematic scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's shot like Watchmen, and Watchmen is a beautiful visual film, and
Whole
I
thing,
think it's
the
fantastic.
Whole
And
movie.
speaking of Watchmen, is that coming to HBO this year? Or are we going to have to wait till?
It's in pre-production. They haven't started shooting yet. I don't
it
think.
still might be 2019. then.
It's still far off. If they
I'm
have
not
years.
a big TV show watcher, but I watch that.
Well,
Like,
aside from Dr. Manhattan, there's not a whole lot of effects, like big budget
yeah,
stuff they have
that's
to do.
true.
It's
'cause
mostly
all
just
of them are
character
pretty-
moments.
Owlman is Batman, but an owl. Like,
They're all men in costumes, and that's
Yeah.
the point of Watchmen. Is that besides Dr. Manhattan, they're all just regular
They're all
people.
just
Yeah.
people.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
that
fantastic.
aspect.
It's really good.
Kick-Ass 2.
Kick-Ass
Yeah,
is
that's
fantastic.
Kick-Ass
actually
3, the girl.
I like because on air I'm actually program director on the radio station. I kind of run everything, and I'm the guy who's supposed to make sure that no one swears on air. No one can say the A word, but in the context of the movie title Kick-Ass, we can absolutely say that 10 times in a row.
Right.
Fine. So
'Cause it's a
that's
film.
a little funny thing.
And then don't you worry here. We have a warning in a TV-14.
Exactly,
On the
we got
corner.
all kinds
But
of
they
disclaimers.
don't know what the TV-14 is. It MALSV?
It is MALSV, yes.
I
Because they
watch
showed that
Netflix, I don't
before.
care about the
other
ratings.
things. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for everything that's happening for 2018.
Oh my goodness.
Don, any other last things that you want to talk about?
Real quick, I'll try to say this. So this year we're gonna have Final Fantasy VII Part 1, the remake. That's PlayStation exclusive. It's gonna be phenomenal. We've been waiting since I don't know, '99 for this, or I don't even know.
Yeah,
it was
that's
that
fair.
long ago. Actually, it's probably '96. But we get that. We get another. We get probably the biggest, most anticipated zombie game for, which is also PlayStation 4 exclusive. I'm sorry, guys. I'm very biased. I'm a PlayStation fan.
I'm also a
Same.
PlayStation fan. It's okay.
Awesome.
honestly.
Yeah, we're all PS4.
Yeehaw! We riding this. It's called Days Gone.
Yeah,
It's
I'm actually.
amazing.
I've been looking at some stuff for that. It looks really nice.
Last of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us is a great game.
Oh my god. I didn't even have to touch the controller and play it. I watched my wife play the whole game for the story. The story was
Incredible.
that
Just incredible.
There's also a game coming out for the PS4 called Call of Cthulhu, which I'm super excited for as well.
The
I'm a
Return
fan of
God
Lovecraft as
War.
well.
Yeah.
I'm illiterate, but I like his stories. They're pretty good.
Yeah, the pictures are great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's tons of great games coming out.
Well, there's.
Actually, you know what?
Just
We were
some
talking
good
about best of
games.
2017. I forgot to mention, but that game that I was talking about, this game itself is pretty good. It's not one of the best games of all time or anything, but Shadow of War came out, and the reason why there's like a moment in that just made me just in love with it was that if you do the certain side quest, like do all the side missions on this certain thing, you can make a dragon appear, and then you can ride this dragon. You point your bow at it, you shadow strike to the dragon, and then you're riding a dragon.
It's
and
pretty
for
the best
me,
part of the game.
For me, that's just one of the moments in gamings where it's just like, what? Oh my god, this is like discovering that Spider-Man can web swing in Spider-Man 2, the PS2 game. It's like one of those moments where it's just like,
That
holy
game
crap, I'm
was so
Spider-Man.
good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're getting a new Spider-Man game for PlayStation.
That's
we are. Wait.
That looks so
Yeah,
good.
it does look so good. I haven't pre-ordered it because
definitely.
they don't have a. The only
don't
reason
have a
I haven't
release date.
pre-ordered that game, no release date. I'm so scared because
I'm
you know what?
terrified,
Even though they have footage, they have things, games get canceled like that all the time.
Yeah, like nothing.
But I think that trailer that was released.
It's
It
like
was-
Batman Arkham, the style of that, but with a tone and the power of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's
Mwah.
and the
Art.
costume. I really like the black and white, the blue, white, red.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same costume. The only difference is to stand out
Kinda
as the
like
big white
Mickey.
spider.
I like
yeah.
the white.
I like that. You make it unique.
I really do like the white.
Stay with what it is, but make it unique. It's good.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm sweating.
Well, speaking
All
of
right.
Spider-Man, just one thing. We got a good Spider-Man movie for the first time in a long time.
In like 10
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
oh, I'm so
Whoa.
happy.
Wow.
Whoa. I didn't hate on the second. Never mind. We can't get into
You
it.
can't talk about
There's
Amazing
no
Spider-Man
time.
2.
Next time.
That'll be
the
another
Spider-Man.
war.
Did you like Amazing Spider-Man 2, the film? Please don't tell me yes.
I did
He's-
not.
Electro?
I did not care for Jamie Foxx. I didn't.
Jamie Foxx is a
He's
good
gearing up to
actor.
say that he liked it, which is totally fine.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
debatable.
You know what?
Debatable and
Realistically,
fine.
Yeah, dude, it was a Spider-Man movie. I got my Spider-Man fix from it. That kid was not a horrible actor. That kid was.
He was a good
decent-
Spider-Man, but a bad Peter Parker. And
Yeah,
Tobey
he
Maguire was a
was-
great Peter Parker and not that good with Spider-Man. And now we have a balance of both,
Yes,
which is
we do.
fantastic.
He nailed it. That was perfect.
That
That was
is-
perfect.
And I think that's a great way to kind of start wrapping up the show.
Definitely.
Of course.
Gentlemen, why don't you plug anything you want to plug your YouTube channel and
Where
all
can we
that
find
fun
us?
stuff.
We can be found at facebook.com/justqualitycontent.
Again, that's JUST quality content. We have a radio show. It's coming back. It's been gone for the past few months because of or 1 month because of
one
winter.
month, yeah.
Winter just happened, so school is not out. But school is now coming back circa next week. So starting, I don't know, this Saturday or next Saturday. I got to find out. But
Probably
starting-
2 weeks because we have to have the meeting first, right?
there is no meeting.
Oh.
We're applying, but I'm the program director. I'm just
We're
making sure it
ironing
happens.
out all the
That's
details.
fair.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
here.
Yeah, definitely. And point is, Saturdays 11 to 1 on air, 91.5 WBIM. Him and I, and hopefully a third person, depending on whether
Yeah.
they can make it or not,
My
talk
boy.
about movies mostly. We focus on superhero movies because they're our favorite, but we talk about all movies because we're just huge movie fans.
Exactly.
Us after that, we always do a podcast.
Yep.
Usually at the end of the day, we do a podcast about it's like R-rated. It's not on air. It's more passionate ideas and stuff like that. So we do 2 shows at least a week. I'm uploading a Godzilla thing review every week until they're all done. And honestly, I have mixed feelings about that, but it's always fun at the very least. So aside from all that, check out our stuff on YouTube. That's where we are.
What's our thing on YouTube?
Quality content.
Perfect.
But don't search that because there's 10 channels called Quality Content. Just go to Facebook and then click the link.
So the easiest way to go is Facebook, just quality content.
But it's JUST Quality Content.
JUST.
Very misleading.
Yes.
Okay.
Don, anything else you want to plug?
I lay down a challenge for you movie guys to watch every Paul Walker movie.
I thought you were going to say Paul Blart, and I'm like, there's only 2.
in
Paul
chronological order, and then get back to us on that.
Him and I, we started doing every Ryan Reynolds movie.
I know that. That's why
Yeah,
I thought you guys finished
but
that.
that's
up.
on hiatus because we haven't had time to sit down and
That's
just
true.
watch films that aren't in theaters. It's like we can't we go see Marvel movies. We pay Jesus, every 2-3 weeks we see a movie in theaters. So it's hard to
There was a
Super
expensive.
expensive.
String where we saw a movie every week for like 3 months,
yeah, definitely.
and then October. I think it was October,
It
right?
kills our paychecks. I mean, we work part time.
Because
Yeah.
October came and there was one movie in October and it was Blade Runner and no one went to see it anyways. But I loved it.
Yeah, it was
But-
fantastic.
Shocktober.
And then there was like 3 more weeks of nothing.
And November was power packed because they all moved out of the way of Star
Yep.
Wars. There was just one movie that month, and then everything was just in November. So.
Yep. And I was like,
Real quick, another thing I'm excited for, Solo.
Oh yeah,
Solo
that looks
movie.
good too.
So
2018.
a little bit off because I didn't really like Rogue One and their
Mm-hmm.
spin-off stuff might be not great for me, but
We'll see. Oh, we're going to start.
BVS Rogue One, all kinds of wars going on.
Yeah, okay, so follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, on what else am I forgetting? Twitter, Free Your Geek on all those. I have a website, Free the Geek. If you're listening to the audio version of this, go on Facebook and like our Free Your Geek page on Facebook. We will probably most likely be here next week, next Thursday, same time. If not, keep up to that page. We have a couple of announcements. We might be on hiatus for a couple of weeks, but until then, do you want to hit him the catchphrase? Or you want me to do it?
Start the geek end with your freak end.
Nope. See, starting
Is it
off
start
2018.
the
how-
mix them
weekend
up.
with your?
So, first of all, thank you to Quality Content
Of
for being
course.
on.
Our pleasure.
Friends of the show, we had kind of a crossover this week where I was on your show, now you're here. But, ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please start the weekend with your geek friends.
And get your geek on. See, I only say that part.
Yeah, bye, folks.
See ya.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.